Looks like another party celebrating Walt Disney World's 20th birthday. Hello, I'm Michael Eisner, head of the Walt Disney Company. We're supposed to meet the Disney gang here to watch tonight's special. This must be their party. It's hard to believe that it's been 20 years since the Magic Kingdom was officially dedicated to Walt Disney World in Florida. It gives us tremendous pride to think about the hundreds of millions of people who have visited and enjoyed the fun at Disney World. Our challenge for the future is to try make the next 20 years even better. Hi, guys.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Mickey, it's not my birthday. It's the birthday of Walt Disney World.
Sure.
We want your present, Michael.
Really, I think you guys are confused.
Oh,
I
no.
am. Put it on.
Try it on. Anything for Goofy.
Looks great, Michael. Here's a piece of birthday cake.
No, Mickey, you don't get it. But I will try the cake. It's not my birthday.
What?
You know, Walt Disney World, 20 years old this year.
It's not your birthday?
No.
Thought it was his birthday.
Michael, the cake, please.
Really?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Can I have the cake back? Now the robe, Goofy.
The robe.
Get the
Come on,
robe.
come on.
Yeah.
Come on, give it here.
We'll be right back, Michael. We're going to take the robe back before the store closes.
Sorry,
Come on,
see you go,
gang.
guys.
We're using your car, okay?
I thought you said it was his birthday.
Hello, Minnie. Now I can have my piece of cake. I can eat it, too.
Coming up next, it's a special celebration in the place where dreams come true. Join host John Lithgow as he brings you a special look at Walt Disney World. From the visions that started the magic, to the incredible attractions that make Walt Disney World the happiest place on earth, to the imagination that will create more joy for generations to come. See Walt Disney World like never before. So join host John Lithgow for Walt Disney World, past, present, and future. Next.
A little while ago, I was invited by the people at Disney to attend a special celebration at Walt Disney World. I'd never been there before, so naturally, I jumped at the chance. Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot about Walt Disney World. Maybe you've even been there. But here's your chance to experience it from a whole new perspective. Hi! So come on along with me and discover why Walt Disney World has become the #1 vacation spot on Earth.
Welcome to Walt Disney World, past, present, and future, with your host, John Lithgow.
You know, this is really a treat for me. Like everybody else, I grew up with images of Disney on television, in the movies, everywhere. In a way, Disney has helped me stay a kid all my life. Now, I'm an actor, but on this trip, the only role I'm playing is myself. Wide-eyed tourist, doting dad, middle-aged kid who just can't seem to grow up. And being an overgrown kid, I've never quite lost my curiosity. Now, when I came here, sure, I wanted to ride the rides and see the sights, but also I wanted to know what went into creating this place that I've heard so much about. And what I've learned is there's a reason Walt Disney World is the #1 vacation destination on Earth, and the reason is very simple. They planned it that way. And what they've created here is like no other place I've ever seen. Walt Disney called it his greatest dream. And considering how many dreams Disney brought to life, that was saying something. From the very beginning, this place was designed to be one of a kind. What the Walt Disney Company has created is more than a collection of theme parks. It's an entire themed world. A world that blends imagination and storytelling, builds it with painstaking planning and detailed construction, and then showcases it in whimsical architecture and art direction. The result is what some people have called the art form of the 20th century. The Walt Disney World story starts where all great stories do, in the beginning. This one began 3,000 miles west of here in an orange grove in California, where the fact is there never would have been a Walt Disney World if there hadn't been a Disneyland. So let's go back to the beginning of the story. Once upon a time, in 1954. As a child, growing up in Yellow Springs, Ohio, I remember watching television every Sunday night and seeing Disneyland being built. All of us kids dreamed of someday going there. What an amazing place. Every component was designed, or storyboarded, as we say in Hollywood, like a Disney movie. Walt Disney gathered together architects, engineers, and movie storytellers and named them Imagineers. Together, they planned Disneyland to be the first themed entertainment park. Every land had a theme. Main Street, USA, Adventureland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and Frontierland. Every detail in every land was designed and art directed to match its theme. Like magic, from start to finish, Disneyland was built in just 1 year. I'll never forget it. Opening day was like the premiere of a Disney movie, and I was there, right in front of my TV. With 29 cameras rolling, the television broadcast on that July 17th was, at the time, the biggest live production in history.
And look who's riding in the various cars. Frank Sinatra. Hello, Franco. Who's driving? Frankie? My son, yes. Don't hit this man. Oh. Look who hit who. Sammy Davis, Jr. Hello, Sammy.
In 1955, the role I'm playing today as your host was taken by Art Linkletter. I don't know why they didn't ask me. I was available. I guess they just didn't want a 10-year-old host.
And there the boat is christened, and it starts on its daily trips up and down the rivers of the world. Of America, that is.
One of Linkletter's co-hosts was a movie actor, pretty well known in those days, a fellow named Ronald Reagan.
The first visitors to travel through the gates of time and into our very historic past.
People got the message. Disneyland was one of a kind. The detail and planning were evident everywhere. Even the employees were part of the story. Walt called them cast members because in his mind, everyone working at Disneyland was part of the show. And their wardrobe was part of the theme. Excuse me.
May I help you?
Disneyland was something people had never seen before, and see it they did. Between 1955 and 1963, over 35 million people visited there. During the same 8 years, the population of Orange County, California tripled. Disneyland's 90 acres were soon hemmed in on all sides by hotels and restaurants that kept Walt Disney from acting on the ideas running rampant through his mind. Disneyland was a huge success, but Walt had even bigger plans. And no one was more hip to the emerging technologies of the information age than Walt and his Imagineers.
In 1960, Walt Disney was the commander of the 8th largest submarine fleet in the world.